Anuj. Welcome to JeweLuxe, and we're so happy to have you here with us and in the spotlight. In this particular episode, we're going to be talking about revitalizing Indian tradition of design and craft. And in this case, the fine jewelry, which we want to interview you and find out from you what's your secret in making that, how you distill the tradition of Indian design culture and make it a worldwide success. Your brand, Umrao, has been like a hit with all the Hollywood celebrities, with all of them scintillating on red carpets with your gorgeous pieces. Can you tell me a little bit more about your brand? What does it mean to you, and what is the philosophy and the ethos behind Umrao?
Okay, so Umrao actually comes from the word Umrao, who's my grandfather. So we are the third generation jewelers. So we've named it after him. So Umrao is Umrao Mal. That's his name. It basically signifies a lot because there's a lot of inherent roots of culture, of trust, of faith, of a lot of things which my grandfather has taught us since we were children. So first and foremost, respect the clients, build in that trust and tradition to the fact that they trust you, and they not just buy jewelry and buy the clothes and buy color stones or whatever it is, but basically it's just to imbibe the feeling of, where you feel responsible towards them. So service is the most important key. We have to feel that client comes to the store and he should not go back thinking that, they're expensive or whatever it could be, but should go back thinking that we're good gentlemen, where we provided them a service which nobody else can.
So basically, you're carrying on your family tradition.
Yes.
Of bringing value.
Yes.
Precious. And I must say, a part of your family's passion for jewelry.
That's right.
And how it's supposed to be manifested amongst the people who believe in you. Is that
Yes.
From what I can tell? I mean, that's amazing and I think that generation, and you're still upkeeping the standards and the principles of how to do business, to bring value.
That's right.
The Indian history, right, has paved the way for such richness in terms of design, intricacy, and the craft. And I think that also paved the way also. And I think it does exercise the influence in the Western design culture as well, with that crossover in that time. And I think, but you took that, I felt, to a different level.
Umrao has been highly inspired by the Art Deco period. So 1920s to 1960s, they use coral, they use crystal, they use onyx, they use sapphires, emeralds, diamonds. So I'm using all these materials and bringing the old 1950s alive. So right from the Great Gatsby to movies that we've seen, which are like the iconic movies like Titanic or whatever, which are the 1920s, 1950s. I watch a lot of these movies. I see the script. I see what they wear, their gowns, their clothes. And then when I go back to my office, I feel like I'm in that generation. And that's why I have everything around me in my office is all vintage. I listen to vinyl records, which are all vintage. I listen to jazz. So all these elements of things around me, it makes me feel like I'm in that old 1950s to 60s, which is where all these designs just come up. They come on my mind, and then I just sketch them. I bring them on paper, and then the jewel just comes up.
Now I get it, because in your pieces, although there has this traditional, I still believe has the traditional Indian culture of crafting in it. Okay,
that's right.
But somehow you have infused the Art Deco element in it as well, which actually creates a whole new world, which is very different. But we can feel the different energy, the Art Deco and the Indian culture coming together.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, when that combination makes your design unique. So it can't be really Art Deco. It's influence, but it still has the Indian Asian influence in it, and that creates that fusion that makes your Umrao so special.
We always get compliments for that. So it's one of my favorite earrings.
And it's one of your most iconic collection.
It is. I can show you something like this.
Yes.
There are about 858 diamonds set into this ball. it's all set in micro pave, and each diamond has been set in reverse. So normally how the diamonds are set, the straight where the culet goes inside, here the culet is outside, so it's opposite. So when you wear it in light, it just shimmers. It's like a ball, like a disco ball.
Yes, it's like a disco ball. Like, you know, it's amazing.
This is all through craftsmanship. It's all through microscopes, setting every diamond under a microscope, which is, and then I guarantee the diamonds won't fall off because it's been set with that kind of precision. I have a team of about 25 people who work for me, and they are fantastic artisans. They've been working for me since past 15 years. So the experience that they have, and I pulled them out from different corners of India, and I've trained them. And now today, wherever I am, whatever I am, is because of them.
Wow, that's a teamwork that you put together, right?
Fully, completely teamwork. I wouldn't be able to do this. Wherever I've reached today is thanks to them.
The other part of your design that I like a lot is your experimental approach to jewelry design. A lot of your design interpretations are very unconventional. They're not exactly what the norm of fine jewelry is, but yet people will say that, oh, but you know, it's so different. And I think this is amazing. I like this piece very much. Statement, I love it.
Yeah, it's like a pop. Yeah. And so the most important thing is women have to try it on, because when they try it on, the weight is seamless. It doesn't feel like you're wearing anything, and yet it has an impact which is like $1 million. So it's value for money. At the same time, there's design.
There's another piece that really captures. There's other designs that I feel you have actually captured an old element and interpret it in a contemporary way when it comes to jewelry making. And another piece of this example is actually this.
The cutting of the lapidary of the amethyst has been so fine that it was really difficult because the amethyst kept breaking, it kept breaking. Finally, we got it right. And it took us almost 2 months to make the earring.
Well, tell me more about the bracelet that's paired with this.
So it's basically the way it's made is the shape of the marquee, and then it's steps of amethyst which are tapering down from one side to the other. Diamonds are all around it, and again it's a statement piece which nobody will have. So when a woman wears this, she just needs to wear the bracelet and nothing else. And it'll be amazing that how when she walks into a room, people will be looking at the bracelet. She'll be holding a glass of wine or champagne, and there'll be conversations happening through the evening. The idea is to do that. It's not just wearing clothes and just walking into a room and getting dressed up, but jewelry also has an impact.
Yes.
And that is what I'm trying to achieve here. So it's one of those statement conversation pieces, you know what I mean?
And I think maybe that's exactly what it takes, like why the Hollywood celebrities are so smitten by your work. Because when you're designing it, you have that in mind to create talking points with your jewelry.
That's right.
And that's what makes the Umrao brand so compelling. And on this note, I'd like to say thank you so much for your time to explain to us on all your wonderful work and creating such beautiful pieces.
You know, before we end this interview, I want to thank you for making me be a part of this family of yours. And I have to tell you that the energy that you have is so amazing that I would want to work with you forever. Like, it's amazing how you do it single-handedly, running the entire show, always smiling, always chirpy, always full of energy. And that energy brings it back to me where I want to do and deliver as much as I can. And so that we have a great team work together. So it's an amalgamation between you and me. So it's great. It works both ways.
Thank you, Anuj. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. And we're so happy to have you with JeweLuxe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to JeweLuxe in the Spotlight. Today we have a special guest at the gallery here at Scott Square, and it's none other than Nikasha herself from the label Nikasha that has been like causing waves. Nikasha, you have a wonderful brand.
Thank you.
You know, a brand that's so colorful and yet fashionable, revitalizing the Indian tradition of, you know, design and style, but making it so contemporary and relevant and a statement for everybody. Like the outfit I'm wearing today. I love it.
Thank you. Yes, you know, coming from a country like India, you have so much heritage and you have so many things to be inspired by. I think the challenge is always how to refresh it and how to make it contextual for the younger generations to identify and move ahead with it, feeling the same kind of enthusiasm as wearing, I don't know, one of the younger brands.
I think, well, it's amazing because people always want to preserve nature. We believe that, and in JeweLuxe this year, where we're actually talking about purposeful luxury, we're very much into the concept of conserving something else which is more tangible, which is also from humans. Culture, tradition, those are history, those are elements of the past that we should treasure and we should cherish and we should keep it ongoing and make it relevant for today. And I think what you're doing for Nikasha, and also later when you launch Nika, you've actually managed to revitalize that element of history.
Yeah.
And what things used to be in the design and craft, and enrich it for us today.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Can you tell us like how it inspired you to that journey?
Well, I think mostly all journeys, especially creative journeys, start with the journey inside. And to me, I was actually practicing to be a psychoanalyst, so very different to what I'm doing now. I mean, for the last decade actually. And so with Nikasha, what initially started with loving to do fashion and styling and things like that has now turned into really trying to identify where we can make Indian craft, a global force to be reckoned with, because a lot of brands come to India just for sourcing
Yes.
or production. So, well, right from Chanel, Dior to Bottega to almost every big European brand or American brand is India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, all of these places are looked as production units. So yeah, I mean, we are trying to go back to the textile weavers, the craftsmen, and hopefully get them a new leash of life, give ourselves a new leash of life.
India has a very rich history, and the royalties, the Maharajas, the opulence and the attention to the craft and detail. When we look at the palace, for example, we look at the garments, we see history books, and it's such a rich tapestry of craftsman's work, handcrafted.
Yes.
And I believe that lineage, that whole heritage, is been passed on from generation and generation. And because of modernization, people always like to buy international brands and all that. I can sense that some news or what I read is like some of these communities of weavers and communities of craftsmen, they do face the risk of, say,
extinction. Yes. What's happened is increasingly is that most of the craftsmen, their kids don't want to do this kind of work anymore. They want to get cool jobs like work in a call center and where they can speak English, and so it's and dress up and be more global in that sense, and which is a real pity, because when we lose a weaver, when we lose a craftsman, we actually lose a piece of history.
Yes.
And we won't have anything to show. We won't have anything to. And at the end of the day, what is modern? Modern is anything that is simple. So you take a tradition or an heirloom or a way of living, and you don't complicate it. You just make it simple so that it has some context for the younger beings. Whereas say during the Nizams or when they wore very heavy jewelry, now you find that the same craftsmen are making things which are maybe just a piece, but it's something that the younger generation can wear and identify with. So at least in that sense, we don't lose our craftsmen. So I think for us and a lot of designers in India and abroad, I guess our endeavor is to keep these traditions alive.